Take the radio, pit crew is far from slow. The lights no longer yellow. Ready, steady, go. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 In love with the ride. Burning rubber smells real nice. Fuel it up once or twice. Come on, fast is the way to drive. Crowds all on their feet. Not one bothered by the heat. Imagine them in the driver's seat. Checkered flag would be sweet. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 Everybody get ready. On your feet. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Crank it up. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 Crank it up. Finger to the sky and a green light shining bright. The only thing I have in mind is the finish line. Take the radio, pit crew is far from slow. The lights no longer yellow. Ready, steady, go. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 In love with the ride. Burning rubber smells real nice. Fuel it up once or twice. Come on, fast is the way to drive. Crowds all on their feet. Not one bothered by the heat. Imagine them in the driver's seat. Checkered flag would be sweet. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 Everybody get ready. On your feet. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Crank it up.
Live now here at Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin, ladies and gentlemen. Now live, it is time for the Champion Power Equipment at 100 here on Pizza Race TV for the Fast and Fun Champion Power Equipment Cup Series right here on the show, presented in part by our friends, of course, at Champion Power Equipment. When you guys need the best power generators for the job, only one brand name stands above all else, and that is Champion Power Equipment. Be sure to check them out on their website at www.championpowerequipment.com. So, with that in mind here, as we get ready for the action ahead, currently waiting on my colleague and friend Sparky Dustin Sonaker, looking to come down on the track here and have a little listen in, have a word with him, and have time chatted to. 25 laps to this, so here on the Champion Power Equipment 100. 10-minute qualifying laps as well here, so these drivers, they'll settle them up down on. They will get them settled into the track and settled for the race itself. We are here now to fire them up and get them ready to go, so without further ado, as you see, we have our eyes on some of our drivers here, but the one we'll have our eye on first. Pilots in the number 15 camp. Ladies and gentlemen, Jason Taylor joins me now here on the show. And Jason, right now, all the drivers that have gone out here and laid down some laps on the track, a little bit of the slowest of the crew here. Was there something just kind of not digging into the track as much as you were hoping for?
It's called lack of road racing skills, Chris.
Well, I mean, that's honesty at your finest, I'll give you that, but I mean, I would have been a little bit more Kyle Busch blunt about it, like some folks usually are on the show.
Yeah, nah, this is not my wheelhouse, but, oh, see, if you're watching me, you just saw that.
Yeah, I did. We wouldn't have you on the call if we weren't watching you, buddy.
At least we're doing the interview now and not in the race. No, not my strong suit road courses. I mean, the goal is simple tonight. Try to stay on the course. Try not to wreck and just get what I can out of it.
For sure there. Well, nevertheless, though, Jason, there's a lot at stake and a lot on the mind, so we'll let you kind of get at least some time to kind of get settled in and maybe have a little bit of practice more up for the grabs. Best of luck out here.
Thanks, sir.
Jason Taylor, the 15, ladies and gentlemen, trying to get settled down on the track. Some guy we haven't heard from in a while that loves to not only settle down, but likes to settle some scores. Piloting in the number 8 machine here, the PM & Sons crew driver himself, ladies and gentlemen, Sheldon Pearson.
How's it going, man?
Going good, Pearson. We haven't heard from you in a while, my friend, and it's been a time or two. We've been seeing you having some troubles and some bad luck on the track, but nevertheless, here the 8 is back in full regards. And the last time we saw an 8 here at Road America, it actually popped away with the victory. Do you think maybe you have something that you can kind of come up with it for this one?
Oh, I didn't even think about that. That's some pressure right there, man. Oh, I killed the car.
Well, I mean, at least I get the pressure out now instead of later. That's what I would tell everyone. That makes you feel.
No, man, I don't know. It's all good racing the track tonight.
For sure.
You're really not going to be able to push the car. I mean, it looks like there's a few guys that are putting down some pretty impressive lap times. I was only a 2:15.0 in practice, so I know there's more out there in the setup, but we'll see if we can get it.
See if we can get it indeed. Sheldon, thanks for your time. Anybody want to go ahead and root on and say thanks for this one?
I mean, and my sponsor, Diesel Freak.
All right, Pearson.
Thank you for broadcasting.
I appreciate it, man. Well, nevertheless, man, good luck out there. Ladies and gentlemen, Sheldon Pearson on the line, the number 8, looking to reel him on down and pray up some fights here. A guy that comes back onto the track. I think you might have known the name, and you've heard the name before. Pilots the man beast himself, the number 29, William Mann Jr.
How's it going, man?
It's going good here. And now to see the man's maintenance 29 back on a track that, you know, I was kind of hoping you would bring the toaster scheme out for this one, but you still didn't get it to me here.
I'm working on it, man. We're just not getting toaster famous.
You
so
literally have put it. No. You literally put it on the track that you made the name and title famous, and you still didn't bring the scheme out. Like, I am very, very, very disappointed in you, man, Junior.
Well, you know me, man. I do the drive, and I have to get people to do the paint schemes for me. I'm not that talented. I'm more of a bumper and chaos versus pin and brush. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. And my main guy's been busy moving from state to state. So I'm trying to be patient, you know, trying to keep things going. I'm actually thinking about getting some stickers made up with the old toaster idea behind it. So we're going to have a good time with that.
For those at home that do not know, I've said the story before, but maybe you can fairly explain just real quick why the heck we're even bringing up a toaster.
So there's a pretty rude comment you can make to people about cleaning their toaster. And, just Google mean things to say about somebody washing a toaster. I'll just leave it at that. I don't want to go too much detail and ruin it for everybody and make myself look more of a jerk than I usually am. But a guy ran me over in a corner here during the recording of an Arca Break Weekly. And it kind of went viral apparently on YouTube, and people got a good kick out of it where I was like, whoever did that turn one, just go wash your toaster, please.
It's viral. It's in 2 videos, really at the intro of their next Arca Break Weekly, and it's literally the showcase of all that is encompassing the Man Beast and Man Jr. himself. Willie Man Jr., thank you for your time, sir.
Appreciate it, man. As always, try to keep PG on PT.
Please do. Willie Man Jr., everyone. Oh, man. Well, you may be trying to keep it PG, but a guy that likes to kind of keep it PC is the man that pilots in the number 77, ladies and gentlemen, Brian Lorenzo. And Brian, right now, still kind of hanging in with the top dogs as we've known you to do before, but this is a whole different kind of layout, bud. It's a road course.
Yeah, this is definitely different. But yeah, I'm surprised with the lap I've been able to turn in. I feel pretty confident in the car. Just trying to find that little bit extra pace for tonight's race.
And with that extra little kick, that little extra pace here, I gotta ask you, how difficult are some of these corners going to be, you think, for some of these guys to make some passes on or even get some run off of?
It's definitely going to be about abusing people's mistakes. You're going to get a lot of dive bombs tonight when it comes to passing. Into like 1 and 2.
For sure there. Well, nevertheless, though, we'll have to see how it all plays out. And I think this corner here, I think I've made a few times famous on some dive bombs. So we'll let you see what happens here on the track, and we'll let you play it out here with the boys.
Thank you, bro.
Brian Lorenzo, ladies and gentlemen, there on the chat line on the call. And now it's time to take it down to one of the guys that pretty much put road course on the map with PT Race TV when it comes to close finishes. Ladies and gentlemen, Janzik is on the line.
Good afternoon. How are we doing today?
Well, we're doing all right, and as usual, you've laid down a time that most people would think you're completely insane for. It's a 2:11.59, and you've only got one of the guys in the 2:11, that being your teammate, the Mullen man himself, Robert Lawrence. What the heck is going through your mind, though, right now, as you currently have been just completely taking these road courses by storm, these cars?
Yeah, these cars make road courses really fun, and for reasons I can't mention yet, I'll mention to you post-race. The current way to run these cars is amazing, and we're trending on a great lap here as well, and they've really just made, between the actual car itself and the current package that iRacing has, it's just such a blast. And I've really looked forward to this. Road America is one of my favorite tracks to race GT3s on, and had a lot of technical difficulties hinder a couple of things I was running earlier, and kind of got me irritated. And now I just want to have a really great race here tonight in the RaceCPI.com Chevy. Toyota. This is not a Chevy. This is a Toyota Camry.
I was about to say, like, I know I've said Tundras before by accident, but I know this is a Toyota Camry at least.
Yeah, you would be correct in saying that. I've gone back to the guys at Elite Performance Industries. Realistically, the community they have there is just something that you really can't deny, and you always want to be a part of. So thanks to them for having me back on and jumping right back on the car immediately. For all your iRacing needs, RaceCPI.com.
For sure there. All right, well, Janzik, you've got quite a bit of a top dog to be put on the mantle, and a lot of drivers are going to knock you off that list. So we'll let you do the rest, as you've already kind of set them back into 210 now all of a sudden.
Yeah, Robbie's capable of these laps, though. We've been practicing together, and he's well capable of these laps. So I know Boyd's capable of these laps as well. So we should have a good race on our hands.
Should be indeed. We'll talk with Robert Lawrence right after you, but nevertheless, best of luck to you and your crew.
I appreciate that, bud. Take care.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, in the 02 Toyota Camry, RaceCPI.com, of course, it is Craig Desaney, famed Janzik. Now, also down the lineup here at the 34, Robert Lawrence now joins us back on the call here. Robert Lawrence, man, talk about a last couple of days you've had. Coming from the Super Money race, you pull off a huge victory there, and then you come into this race now, and here you are literally trying to take on the boys on a whole different plane of existence.
Well, it was a P3 there at Talladega, but still, it was in the money. That's all that matters. And then, yeah, right now I'm trying to trying to master the road race. This track is about as home as it gets for me, so I'm trying to get a handle on her.
So this being kind of home sweet home for you, I know you live in the Minnesota area, but more Wisconsin, instead of Wisconsin-wise. But how does it feel to kind of get around on the Midwest surface tracks versus what you usually had to do, which is around the southern and the western borders?
I mean, usually it's cooler, a little more humidity, which usually means more grip. However, we're dealing with about a 124-degree track, and right now she's kind of slick, so it'll be. You'll see a bunch of people skating around, getting sideways, wrecking. Oh, it'll be an interesting race for sure. You have to keep your eyes open for all of it.
Absolutely. Well, nevertheless, this Elite Performance Industries number 34 certainly has its shake at being in the top dog ranking. Let's see if this one plays out for you guys.
Yep, I hope so.
All right. Thank you for your time, Robert.
Thank you.
Robert Lawrence, ladies and gentlemen, 34, having a little chit-chat with us down on the track. Speaking of a guy that has a little chit-chat or two down the track, he's been known to run some pretty hard races on the road courses. Please welcome in the number 9 Ford Mustang, Eli Childs.
Chris,
Yes, sir.
what's going on?
Not much. Right now, just kind of talking with the Midwest boys. We just heard from Lawrence here and how he's feeling here on the Midwest side. I know you're a Midwest boy yourself from the Illinois to the Iowa sections, and I know our sector of Wisconsin is not too far off from us. So how are you feeling right now to be kind of back in more of the ground plains you're used to when it comes to racing?
I don't know. I am terrible here. I think I'm sitting like P7 on the board right now. I think it was a fluke, 100%. But, you know, I wish it was a full-on oval with no right turns.
Well, I mean, if it was gonna be an oval, though, I mean, you still have to kind of try to at least make an effort to try to take some of these boys down, I would think, right?
I mean, I'm gonna try, but I would not expect anything out of me tonight. We're just gonna try to stay on track. I think we can get a top 10 if we do that. So we'll see see if we're able to keep it on track all night.
For sure there. Well, still had to give you a little bit of love in that Champ Power Cup number 9 machine. So best of luck to you guys, and we'll see what happens down here.
Appreciate it. Hopefully we can put on a good show for Champion running their car tonight. So we'll see what happens.
We will see indeed. Best of luck, bud.
All right, see you, man.
Eli Childs now on the line, taking the time with us here. We'll see if he can hang in there. Another guy that has been known to hang in there and also not destroy his car when I'm trying to bring him into an interview here. Ladies and gentlemen, Caleb Forsythe.
Look, that was going to be the one time I hit that turn, and then you messed it all up.
Well, I mean, I'm pretty good at that, if you know what I mean.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I would say that the broadcaster curse is on me, but I think it's just a road course curse, as in I can't drive road courses.
So instead of my road course challenge, I've always kind of put on the when I put in for the title cards and everything, it's now the road course curse. I guess the RCC has been changed out here, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I will take claim to that one. It kills me. It's amazing. I would actually rather take a short wheelbase vehicle around a dirt road course than I would this thing around a paved road course.
I mean, depending on how you look at it, it could go both ways. So, but with that in mind, though, I would have to think that there's a few areas where this car may be a little bit stronger on the braking ends as well as on the straightaways, wouldn't it, with the way some of these corners come off for this car?
That would require me to remember where the corners are to be honest. I keep forgetting, like, yeah, there's a turn coming up, especially the right turns, because, see if I make this one, I just killed myself on last time. But, yeah, I don't know. No.
Well, the car almost came around until you just destroyed that left front out completely.
Yeah, you don't need that, right?
Well, I wouldn't
just
think
a
so.
motor up there.
At least we know. At least we know the damage model's all working good.
Oh, absolutely. I've tested out thoroughly tonight. I've lost tires. I have blue engines. I've put oil. If you'll look in one of these turns, I forget the number, but there's dirt all over the track. That's me. That's my fault.
Pretty sure that was turn 1.
Yeah, turn 1 right there. Yeah, that's mostly me right there. It's done that.
All right. Well,
look, I'll be honest with you. We showed up tonight just looking for some points, hoping it didn't come out. It's about our only hope. we're going to drive around in the back and try to survive more laps than other people.
Hey, live by the code NPR and hold on for dear life, right?
Absolutely.
All right, Caleb, thank you for your time here today, man.
Absolutely. Y'all have fun watching.
You too. Caleb Forsyth, the 76, ladies and gentlemen. Now on to a driver here that is in the top 5 right now of a podium position in practice. He pilots down in the big number 5, ladies and gentlemen, Kyle Holden.
Hey guys, how's it going up there?
Oh, pretty good out here, my friend. So, Holden, right now, currently holding the 3rd spot on the top of the leaderboard. Although, I mean, right now, unless you got some turbos in there, I don't think Jans is going to be knocked out on that. And you'll have to get him in qualifying, though. But that does bring me to a good point here. With practice versus qualifying, how much do you think that these drivers are going to kind of over-accelerate and overuse themselves just trying to set a good time here before actually getting into this race?
I mean, you're probably going to see a couple guys push it harder than they want to, just to see if they can get ahead. Because obviously, you know, here there's no caution, so if someone does spin out, they can just get an easy position. So they're going to see what they can do in qualifying, and I think most of them are going to realize that you can't really push the car. Smooth is better, so we'll see how it goes for them.
And speaking of easy position here, you think track position and the way they qualify out here is going to be a big factor here with this kind of a run, because this is a road course after all.
Yeah, track position is going to be huge, especially because it's going to be a little bit difficult to pass here just because it is a road course. And I know most of us aren't too fond of running road courses, but it's going to be a wild one. I'm sure if we got a lot of good guys in here that'll be able to hopefully keep it clean, but I'm sure you're going to see some mayhem here and there.
Absolutely. Well, that's Holden. We really appreciate coming on board here, sir. Best of luck to you and the crew.
Appreciate it.
Kyle Holden, ladies and gentlemen, the number 5, having a little chat with us here. We'll have a listen in right now with one of our other guys right now, piloting in the 90. Richard Fornshell joins us.
Hey, how's it going?
Oh, going good. Now, Richard, you had to drive a little bit more up the north this time than you usually are when it comes to being in the south and the west, but, you know, the number 90 has been ready to kind of put up a few numbers here or there. Do you think maybe you can get another top 5 or at least top 10 in this track today?
I don't know. We'll see how many people actually finish, and I'll probably be towards the end of that. I can tell you one thing. I definitely know there will be some donuts in my future. Most of them are going to be in the grass. There's definitely not going to be any after the race.
So, with that being said, then too, like, where do you, well, besides you just doing that, where is going to be the most troublesome turn you think that ends up getting you to do some donuts in the grass?
I don't know. Right now, my biggest problem, I think, is probably turn 5. I keep trying to send it a little bit too hard and ended up locking them up. But I think that and what is it, 13 down there right before 13 and 14, the last 2 corners, I still haven't figured those out. Probably because I rarely get to those in practice.
For sure there. All right, well, nevertheless, qualifying is underway, so Folden, Fornshell, we'll let you go ahead and get down to it here and bring this one up and see if you can hold these boys accountable.
Hey, thanks for the ticket.
Absolutely. Richard Fornshell, ladies and gentlemen, the 90, ready to field him in. So are the rest of the boys. The green flag is out. We are under qualifying. 2 guys to watch out for, Janzik and Lawrence here in qualifying. Holden, though, it will hold his own, you know that for sure. But I think there could be a sleeper hit in here for a top 5 qualifying spot. We've seen some guys get some great speed before. Will we get that same ordeal here? And yes, you may hear in the background a little bit of fan work here. I am currently trying to stay cool in my hot summer little Wisconsin booth here. Again, they at least gave me some cheese and some crackers to at least munch on here. Thanks, Wisconsin. I probably wouldn't feel at home if I didn't have my cheese, knowing that I am a cheesehead for the Green Bay Packers. So, I mean, there is that. Right now, the fields are currently starting to push up and trying to push down on the track as they have about 8 minutes, 20 seconds left of qualifying. There is 25 laps to the distance here on this race, so this will be inevitably a bit of a long, hard haul circuit for a lot of guys to have to kind of figure out. You're going to see a lot of drivers, in my opinion, really tempting themselves in these corners and tempting themselves to not only do those dive bombs, but also kind of try to find an angle or an area where they can get the most speed and the most position out of. But I feel as though the best way to get around this track without a shadow of a doubt is just tempo. Pacing your way around this place and getting yourself under control is going to be the biggest priority as we present to you the Track Tech Talk as they get ready to set up their first lap of qualifying down. But you can just see where the start-finish line is in that long straightaway, and then look at that very sharp right corner there, entering in turn number 1. That's literally almost that's about a 85-degree in right turn you're having to make in just to make the ends meet. Then you got a little bit of a slope downhill, back to another I'd say about a 95, about 100-degree turn right, and then down another straight shoot, and then into that troublesome back straightaway turn that ends up taking you downhill, sloping into the hard left, back uphill to the left, and then on around down through the final end sectors to the carousel. And then from there, it's pretty much just kind of a straight line, just kind of a drive off from there, just trying to hope that you don't lose your head as much as you don't lose your speed and tempo. Field is currently putting down their laps now. This is their first lap of the day. Who will be able to come out on top of it all? I got about 6 minutes left on the clock. We'll listen in here with George Young as well as I believe we have Tyler Meeks on the call here up next. And then if we can get Christian Wilcox in, we will join him then. Otherwise, we will just let the drivers kind of do their thing and kind of go around the track. Tyler Meeks, so remember, is the reigning and defending champion of the trucks division. He got that back literally. Or excuse me, not Tyler Meeks. I'm really confused. I'm confusing my drivers again, guys. I'm sorry. I believe Christian Wilcox actually was the one that had taken the championship in that one originally. Yeah, so apparently as of late, I've not been keeping up the date and track on who is who and who is where, so that is definitely my apologies and my bad there, I will say. And they line them up down around the track here, working up through the fields. Janzik lays down his time. Robert Lawrence right there with them as well. And again, a 2-second time gap difference between those guys, definitely setting the standard. That's literally 1/1100th of a second. Is not much, but that's pretty crazy that Lawrence was almost able to get into the 10s. No one's been able to get into the 10s besides Janzik so far. Stephen Pless, Tyler Meeks making their way into the top 5 right now, bracketing up as Kyle Holden knocks down Mann Jr. there. Up one spot, unfortunately, so that will slow down his pace just a little bit. And just to clarify as well, I was right originally. It was Tyler Meeks that had won the championship back for the Green Mountain Girls Green Mountain Girls Fast and Fun Truck Series back then. That was way back when, but man, I can tell you what, he's probably still thinking about that time he had on the track and where he really was playing out from there. Hoping maybe to build that speed back up and keep his momentum going. Christian Wilcox is Elite Performance Industries Motorsports 53 right now, has now laid a clap down. He's clocked in and out top 5. So he's also making some headways here and some moves. And there's our friend the Youngling 48 of George Young, and as soon as I put the camera on him, he ends up in the sand pit. I'm sorry, George. I swear I did not intend to make these things literally just right at them then and there. Well, if you weren't understanding what the sand pit meant there, well, what it means is once you go into that sandbox, your lap time does not count. So Young's time will not count no matter what he does up here the front straightaway. It's going to be a DNF. Or DNQ, excuse me. So it'll put them somewhere well back into the field here. But again, top 10 have not even gotten in a lap time. So he could be having a shot. And Johnson's lap also thrown out the window. As you see him drive way too hard, got into the grass. And that is going to be counting as an off-track penalty. So that'll be another DNQ on that lap. So the lap will not count for him either. So it really doesn't matter what kind of speeds he brings to the table. And Meeks right now just trying to get some extra laps around the track as well here. His best was a 2:13.54. He's not going to get a faster one this go around. So I'll have to inevitably just kind of use up whatever speeds he can and understanding of the track. Steven Plesson 69 here, as also laid down a 2:13.98. That was his fastest. Looking to lay down one more lap time maybe to get something going better than that crew. Richard Fornshell, Stephen Pless, Tyler Meeks, Christian Wilcox all laying into their speeds here. Eli Childs, James Harris, and Caleb Forsythe did not qualify. Neither as actually Boyd Hagen in the 96, surprisingly. As he actually is just now entering off pit road, and I don't think he's going to have enough time to actually get a lap put in. I don't know, maybe he was having some technical difficulties down there or not, but that 96 is not going to get a lap in on this track. Remember, Meeks did go off track, so his lap count will not count. George Young needs to get a lap in here, otherwise he will be counted on the bottom reins of the track here. About a minute and 30 seconds left on the clock here as they reel him off the final ends here. Young trying to get some speed, trying to build a little bit of power in the NPR at 48 Youngling machine. Remember, there's only 25 laps these drivers are going to get, so that's not a whole lot of time. Looks like Young will get a lap in. Came clear, came through, straight down the straightaway, up to the top. And he'll get his lap clocked in. Time is good enough to put him in the top 10 at least. But again, not a strong time by any means. Only a 2:17.12. That is going to be very, very difficult to have to work around against the fast guys. 7 seconds slower than Jandik. You know Jandik's probably going to want to muscle these guys out of the field. Let's take a listen in though here with George and see how he felt about that. George, if you got the copy down there, sir, we can listen in with you.
Gotcha, buddy.
So, George, unfortunately having some problems down there in that 48 machine. I mean, what was going on down there, my friend?
Oh, you know, we still got some things to work on here. We don't have a good feel for the track or the car yet, but we're hoping to stay out of trouble. The last road race we did, I managed to stay clean the entire way, and that's all I plan on doing tonight.
So
hopefully we could take advantage of some other mistakes.
Well, that being said, too, though, trying to stay clean with a place that's been known to throw a few dive bombs and quite a few risks on the track. I mean, how treacherous do you think some of this could be enabled here for you in this crew as you get later into this run?
Well, I think as we get later, it's going to get a lot better. I think these early laps are key. If we can get through these first, 5-6 laps, I think we'll be good for the rest of the way.
For sure there. All right, well, George, we are ready to grid them up and settle them down, so let's see if you can keep it clean throughout this entire race.
All right, thanks.
George Young, ladies and gentlemen, number 48, has now set himself on the mark and on the sights. And race fans, the time has come. We have now begun the gridding order here. It is time to present to you the Champion Power Equipment 100 gridders starting up. Presented in part by Champion Power Equipment. And on this start, we see the 02. He pilots it in with Greg Janzik, as his outside is teammate Olson Performance driver Robert Lawrence in the 34. Row number 2, it's Kyle Holden in the 5. His outside, it is the 77, Brian Lorenzo. Representing in the number 3, the 53 is going to be Christian Wilcox. And the outside of row 3 is the 35, Tyler Meeks. Row number 4 is Stephen Pless, and the 69. His outside is Richard Fornshell, the number 90. Row number 5 in the 29, William Ann Jr. is outside. It is George Young in the 48. In row 6, Boyd Hagen. Pilots in the 96 is outside is Matthew Johnson in the 4. In row 7, we then see piloted by the 9 is Eli Childs is outside. Sheldon Pearson in the 8. Row 8, Caleb Forsythe is in the 76 with his outside. The 15, Jason Taylor. The final man on the start, the gridding line, it is the 55, James Harris. We are now set for the action. Your field of drivers ready. And what awaits them remains to be unknown. All we do know is this is the Champion Power Equipment 100, presented in part by Champion Power Equipment, the best power generators on the market. You can't ask for anything better than this. Be sure to get the best front and kick out the rest. It is Champion Power Equipment. Be sure to visit them up at their website at www.championpowerequipment.com. Field will pilot their way on around the track here as we get settled up for this one here. Let's take a listen to one of our guys before we go. Tyler Meeks, you got a quick copy, sir?
I copy. Go ahead.
All right, so before we begin the green, it's going to be a little while before he gets to that green because of how long this track is. And because of how long it is, I got to ask you, what's going through your mind here knowing that you got a bit of a distance here to travel to really stay ahead of these boys?
Maintain pace while maintaining on track. I feel like if you get a tire in the grass just a tiny bit and go off track and get into the gravel or something, your chances of winning are pretty much zero at that point. So stay steady, but stay on the track.
Stay on the track. And, you know, with this first start, there is a really sharp 90-degree end turn there in turn one, I guess you could say. So, I mean, how many you think may kind of throw strategy and mindsets out the window, you think?
Yeah, I'm just going to hopefully these guys take turn one easy. We can all kind of get single file and let the fast guys emerge pretty much. I'm just going to kind of, like I said, try to stay on track because we're going to try to go for at least the top 5. I'll be happy if we can get this Ford Mustang in the top 5 tonight.
The Mobile 1 Ford Mustang's looking pretty solid in that 35. We'll see if we can do it today. Meeks, best of luck out there.
All right, thank you.
Representing with the 35, it is Mr. Tyler Meeks. Alright, so I'll have to remind myself about this. We missed out on Little Cox and Pless here throughout this race, so we will have to get with them later on. If they have a chance, we'll talk with them maybe too. But nevertheless, folks, they're all trying to hunt down that RaceEPI.com 02 of Craig Janzik, and even the 34 of Elite Performance Industries Motorsports crew. 34 is Robert Lawrence. This is a stacked lineup and a stacked field ahead. No one is safe, though, from the clutches of a road course challenge, and this is certainly one of the toughest to tame on this track. The sheer size and scope, it is over 4 miles in length, an absolute pinnacle of crazy talk and hard racing, to say the least here. This truly is one of the special races that we see go thrown down on the track here constantly on Pete's Race TV, and we love nothing more than to just see who can come through in the bind, who can take on the best above the rest. Field is set to go here on PT Race TV. The Champion Power Equipment 100 is now locked and loaded. Caution laps are going to be pretty much non-existent here unless you literally see the entire field wrecked out, which I've never seen happen. But I'm not saying that road courses eventually can't probably take that to fruition. We are set to go, at least for this one, and we are now ready to field them down. They will bring them down to the straights. Janzik, Lawrence, and all them ready to bring him up off the top of the hill. They'll bring him to the Champion Power Equipment restart zone and settle the score here at Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. The fans are on their feet. We're ready to go. Green flag is out. Entering it hot down turn number 1. Janzik driving it up wide to get a nice little entry in the turn, but he overshoots the turn. He overshot the turn 1. Janzik into the sand pit and lost all of it in turn number 1. What on earth? You even heard Tyler Meeks say, literally, I hope we can just stay under pressure and stay cool. And Meeks and Janzik's done it again. He's in the grass. He's in the sand pit. He's done. The fastest qualifier is done already. Look out in front. We got trouble with the 90 getting slammed in by the 96 of Hagen. Hagen is into the grass. So is Fortchell. Oh my word. That is 3 major hitters literally knocked out of contention in less than literally a half of a lap. Are you serious right now? What on earth is going on out here? Janzik just overshot that corner right here. You can see the front of the car literally taking the damage. And takes a huge hit on the nose, had nowhere to go, and literally everything gets flipped on his head. He's trying to get back up to speed, but the steering is gone. You see the car is just totally destroyed. And there's the frustration built in and around him and that crew. But what happened there to Boyd Hagen and them as well? That's what we need to see here on Pizza Race TV and see what went wrong. We got a camera down there as they were going around. Here's what happened. That were two major stories going on here right now. Look at there's a 69 on the right side. That's Stephen Pless. Here's Boyd Hagen right on the back there of Richard Fornshell, entering into that sharp turn down below the braking zone. And that sharp left after having to brake hard. Fornshell brakes really early. Hagen was much later. And Hagen ends up colliding with Fornshell, causing that huge wreck to ensue and literally shocking all of us here on Pizza Race TV. I cannot believe what I just witnessed.
I can't either.
Janzik, I know frustrations are a little bit high right now for you, but I mean, what went wrong there entering in turn number 1?
So after I started accelerating, after we got the green flag there, it shortly thereafter occurred to me that I did not even think about practicing a race start at all. And I was just finished getting the sentence out of my mouth to Robbie. I was like, you know, I actually have no idea where we're going to brake here. And I chose somewhere that was, you know, really way too late. So, yeah, we're gonna we'll be a lap down and maybe a little bit of change here, and we'll still go out here and have a good time. But I really hate that for us here. It puts us in a compromising points position. Not that bad. I mean, I know that bring a certain level of expectations to every race you're a part of, and that's no different for me here. But I really hate that for the fans and for RaceAPI.com. Cameron, which obviously was on rails and threw that away real quick. So.
Well, I mean, at the same time, though, Janzik, I mean, even some of the better drivers like Boyd Hagen had made a little bit of a mental error there. Same way Johnson is now having some troubles down here on the very troublesome hard braking zone down that turn corner. I believe that's turn 5 or 6 or whatever down there. But I mean, it seems like even veterans like yourselves have really been just kind of tested with the track that's kind of giving you guys more than your fair share when it comes to braking and controlling the track.
This track is a huge challenge, yeah. We'll get out here, we'll turn laps and be all right. I just really hate it. Again, you know, bring a certain level of confidence and put down a pole lap like that, and not gonna have anything to really show for that. So I feel really bad about that for our team, but hopefully Robbie can get it done. He's definitely got the pace now, and we'll be cheering him on.
Certainly do. Nevertheless, Janzik, get back out there and we'll see if we can bring it back, bud.
10-4, bud. See ya.
Greg Janzik, ladies and gentlemen, in the 0-2, as you heard him loud and clear there, and you can hear the disappointment in his voice too, folks. That's one of the hardest things as a driver you cannot escape from. It's literally setting yourself up for that position, setting yourself into a position to go for that run and go for that time there, and literally everything all of a sudden just goes completely all over the place. That's one of the toughest things a driver can even have to swallow, and I've been in his shoes before, I can tell you that much. Janzik, did you want to drop back in your spot, or do you just want to hang around with us the whole time?
So I realized after I started talking that I have a single monitor and I would not be able to move myself. So if you could, that'd be great.
No
Sorry
problem.
about that.
Well, that's all good. We'll have a little laugh to help you out a little bit, so.
Oh, I appreciate that, bud.
All right. Well, we'll give him a hand once in a while, but nevertheless, that was Craig Janzik. Yeah, I guess he could hear everything we said there, so I think that's going through his mind just a little bit more. But I mean, right now, the way we're looking at it looks like you may not even see one of the topper guys up on the front ends here unless Boyd Hagen could figure some way to get back at these guys. But he's lost a lot of time, literally 28 seconds. You heard Meeks and even a few of these other guys say earlier, if you go into that sand pits, in those grassy plains, or any off the corner tracks sides here, you literally lose so much speed and so much execution that it's almost impossible to get back into that groove and into that swing of things, much less even trying to figure out if you're even going to get back in to the race itself. And you know, for Boyd Hagen right now, I've got to be feeling that his frustration is without a doubt the fact that that corner just kind of came out of nowhere and kind of gave him a little bit more trouble than I think he was expecting. But at the same time, Janzik with the same issues, same regard, and he's now back on the track, back in position. He's actually got around Matthew Johnson and Fornshell, so that is a few positions he's taken back over, but he's still got a long way to go. For Hagen, though, he's back in. He was starting in 16. Now he has to try to get in from the 11 now up to the front. And he's got Jason Taylor, who's in the top 10 with James Harris now right up on his back end here. But he certainly isn't making any friends out there when it comes to making passes, that's for sure. Hagen making a great charge there on the final corners and does take over. James Harris just right above him there trying to stick with it. Brian Lorenzo here in the 77, really kind of right where he was at in qualifying, just staying under the radar without really making too much noise. It's just almost, to me, it's kind of weird to really explain this cat, because this guy is literally, you know, with his team C's hashtag Team C 77 machine, he seems like he always is in the running to win these races and to get something on these guys. But I have never personally seen him just without actually making any huge dive bombs or any huge moves like you would see one from Janzik, Harris, and Childs even when he was really at his peak. I've only really seen Lorenzo just kind of come through the field, and he just kind of just sneaks up on everybody and just kind of takes over their positions. I can't really explain how he does it, but he's just so quiet, so persistent. He's just able to do it his way and his style, and maybe that just deserves to be accommodated for it. I don't know. You guys... Some of the other dogs here that for the longest time I always said were the guys that did not get the wins when they should have and honestly deserve more wins, or at least deserve to get that first one out their back. For the longest time I said was the 29er William Mann Jr. This man's maintenance team has really come alive and really bring everything back in full circle since that win in the Super Money race. Since then he's had multiple top fives, multiple podiums, and came close to winning a couple of other races, but I don't think anything will be as memorable as the one that he got at Talladega when we saw everyone wreck out right behind him, and with his dad behind him literally getting up to the front and taking a victory trip. It was probably one of the most satisfying conclusions we've had in a race in a long, long time, and he knew when he got it, it was something special. I think another race though that, you know, Eli Childs has said before that he's not getting this track down and he doesn't know what's going on. I think there is one thing we can say though with Childs is at least that road course wise, there is one out there that still means a lot to him and that still really has been on his mind since he came onto our show and came onto our track, and that of course was the big race back at Watkins Glen where, you know, that day he was representing for his family and for his crew, and he still has the unloving memory of his long lost daughter and child that he has been missing so deeply. Same with his fiance, his now wife, Jess. I mean, those two have gone through a lot, been through so much, and yet Childs has never really seemed to back down from a fight, back down for the runs when he needs to, and he doesn't seem to be doing any of that right now, and that just shows you full circle. He will not quit until that car can't go anymore. And that's why he also has a championship on his resume and in his possession. He got that back literally two seasons ago when he won the last raced there this season, managing to knock off everybody with Kansas and take over James Harris's last position to take that final 4 spot away. In that same race, though, the guy behind him, William Mann Jr., was really trying to go for a full fuel run and ended up on the last lap in the last corner, losing out on all his fuel, giving Brad Thacker / John Thacker the race win. Bit of a crazy little circumstance and situation to say there, but I mean, that is coincidentally been kind of one of those ordeals. of course, obviously the win would come later for that 29. But yeah, the same has been said as of late for that number 53, Christian Wilcox, more known for his truck racing attributes. Christian Wilcox, though, is not a guy you can sleep on. I'll tell you that right now. When he got that first win in Daytona in the trucks, a lot of folks kind of written him off as kind of a one-off, but he was always in podiums. He was always in top 10s. He was in the category of making some moves and making some runs when he had to. He never gave out until that car would not go, until he had to actually give in and give up the race. And really, today, it seems like Wilcox has been pretty consistent again. He's been pretty much on the nose, on the verge of just staying with the car and staying with the field. I think, if anything, he just stays right with everyone and keeps under control, under pressure. I think he'll be all right here. James Harrison, the 55 right now, having a little company behind him for that top 10 battle there. That is Sheldon Pearson there in the 8. As I mentioned earlier, Ron Tyler Reddick was the one that drove that number 8 here at Road America and got that win finally off his resume. James Harris this season still winless, but hasn't given up just yet. And as I say that, he ends up throwing himself into the sandpit a little bit, giving Pearson a run off there on the left side. Pearson, great pass there off the corner there, down into the hill and then up around. And George Dunn kind of hanging back behind as well, doing exactly what he said earlier on his strategy. But as we go on board with James Harris, this is another guy that really has probably the highest expectations of all drivers. And that can be due to really one major criteria, and that is the fact Harris has not won a race since his winning performance at Auto Club Speedway. The last time he won was literally at Auto Club Speedway, and he got that win in those Gen 6s. It was the last, it was the last race ever, those Gen 6 Cup cars, and he was able to go out there and win that season title with them. But since jumping into the Gen 7s, it's been a completely different story. He's been winless, he's been wrecked out, he's been thrown to the wall, he's been thrown to the wolves. I mean, everyone that has been just a little bit harder as a driver to take on or a bit faster, he's had to deal with them and endure on multiple occasions over and over. And he flat out told me today, he's like, do not expect me to be in that running for anything in the top 5 all day long. All I am focused on is just trying to get through today, and that's all I really care about. Well, right now anyway, he is certainly doing that and then some, but he still has a lot to kind of go off of really when it comes to this season, because there is still quite a few races left that he may be able to take on if he can find a way around it. The next race, though, isn't until July 26th, which will be at Pocono, which is honestly a track that I think may be an area where he can actually play it off at, where he might actually be able to use a little bit of talent there and actually outsmart some of these guys. He's not a long haul guy, but he is one of those guys that can use a thing of strategy better than some can, in my opinion. And of course, August 23rd, I mentioned earlier about Watkins Glen. We'll be there as well, and then it will be September 6th. Darlington returns on the show. Bristol Motor Speedway is then September 20th, and I think that may be the race that evens out a few guys' bumpers here, or maybe evens out a few heads or two. We'll have to see when that comes around, but right now, anyway, story has been everyone trying to hunt down that 34 of Robert Lawrence ever since he completely just took everyone by storm and took this race into his hands. And remember, Lawrence has not been winless this season. He's actually got a win already, but he is not. He is also the reigning and defending Super Money Race champion at Talladega Superspeedway. He got that win, or excuse me, not the race. I keep confusing him. He's currently one of the 3 guys that has a podium there in the Super Money Race. He has actually won at Talladega which is what I was referring to back in the broadcast that we had. I don't know why I keep confusing him though. Harley Barletta did win the Super Money race we had on last Friday night. So Lawrence was the third, and then I believe actually Kyle Holden had gotten into second. Producers, can you give me back my patch notes here? I am literally lost here, guys. You gotta help me out. As I say that, they literally are just looking at me like I don't know what the heck that broadcast was all about. Gotta remember the promoter was one that did it. I was the one just kind of called the race, so I forgot a few things. But yeah, actually, Harley Barletta, then it was Kyle Holden, then Robert Lawrence in that first, second, and third respectively. So that's why I keep getting confused with Lawrence. But he did mention in that broadcast too, he had gotten a win on that track as well with a little charity race, if you will, kind of just settle in with, and that was kind of how that all played out. And that's where I keep getting so confused at. So I do apologize in advance. Looks like a little trouble down there for Eli Childs here. Opens the door up for Man Jr. here. Here comes the man's maintenance 29 machine coming right up. Don't worry, the timing sheet will slow down just a little bit here. Give us 1 minute. There it goes. Man Jr. now looking to bring up one on Eli Childs in the 9 here. Childs trying to hold him off and trying to keep him away from it. As Man Jr. tries to go right to the left side for the pass. Can't quite get a run here. This is your battle for 7th. That old Camp Whiskey 29 right now having a good feel of fight here at that 9 of Eli Childs. The Champion Power Equipment Machine tries to hold on. Childs moving in here to kind of get a little bit of speed, get a kick up around through the forest lands we go here at Road America. Looking to swing it hard down yet again. Man Jr. is going to back off and tame the field in, looking for Childs to make a mistake, at the same time trying to not make a mistake of his own. And this is something too I want to kind of bring up as well. This is probably, in my opinion, probably the toughest race to deal with for any kind of driver out there versus being on an oval. Oval racing is one thing where, again, you can kind of figure out some ways to win around and kind of get settled in and actually take advantage of people's mistakes there by simply having a car that already got loose or got spun out and wrecked out of field. You can make passes then, but road courses are a whole other animal, and in that regard, I say what makes them so tough is the fact of you literally have to focus on the track while also have to focus on dealing with drivers right behind you. A lot of people seem to keep forgetting this, but one thing that Formula One is really good explaining too is the fact that when you got two cars going side by side, literally, and back and forth with one another, trying to outwit and outsmart the other, it just makes for a really strong and sequential circumstance that you just can't find yourself a win in any other division of sport or racing. The last thing you want to do in any race is have tunnel vision. Ovals, you can kind of get away with it. You can follow a driver around in certain areas, in certain spots to make their moves and stay with their draft. Road courses, it's a whole different story. If you've got tunnel vision, you're not finding out where each corner is, you're not looking deeper into every turn, literally these tracks eat you for breakfast because they will not let you make that mistake or let you get away with it too often than not. I've seen guys that are, average speeds on any other track, but when they get on a road course, they're almost just brilliant because they can use the cornering, they can use the sharp angles, and use their peripheral vision to actually see further than other drivers can. And even that, and also too, I can say that this track as well has kind of still holding a special place in my heart. This was the first place I ever in my life actually got a road course win at, and also it was my second career win of my life. And it's kind of funny to me that I have pretty much set almost the top 10 in the NASCAR Heat 4 days on this track with the Truck Series. When it came to the world's fastest times there, it still kind of shocked the heck out of me, and that was on a fixed setup too. But obviously these drivers not running fixed, these are open setups and designed more for their liking, so that does help them out with their strategies. But it's one of those things you just can't really describe without just being there, being in person, and really feeling everything that goes on the track and goes on the course. It really is just a wonderful experience, and this track is, without a shadow of a doubt, may not be the most thrilling of races, but it sure has a lot of special hope and heart down there. Well, I guess we can't say it was the most thrilling races. We literally had a start that no one was expecting, and Craig Janzik, who is now in pit road with a damaged up number 02, still currently getting over the issues that he had suffered through. And that if you forgot what had happened or just now tuned in here on Track Race fans, Janzik was the number 1 seed going in and set the fastest time with only the 2:10 marker, faster than everybody by a long shot. However, entering into turn number 1, even he admitted that he did not get any restart zone practice in or how to actually set a race up. So when he made that mistake on turn 1, he really cost himself dearly. He overshot the corner and ended up into the sand pit and smashing the wall protection for his troubles. And they also, to even make matters even crazier, Boyd Hagen, who Boyd Hagen right now actually is out of this race right now entirely too. He actually is done. He currently had gone down towards the bottom sector of this corner number 5, I believe is what it called. Here, right here, this is the turn right now. Caleb Forsythe's going. Overshot the braking zone there with Fletcher Fornshell right in front of him. Fornshell would end up getting the worst end of it, getting sent outside into the almost into the catch fence there. And Hagen would have to try to back off, try to get settled in. He was making a hard charge up there in the top 10, but tires and fuel gave out, and honestly, I think he gave out too a little bit, just knowing he was kind of done with this one. And since then, it's been pretty much kind of smooth sailing for all these drivers. Not a whole lot to speak of, and not a whole lot going on. Just the field just kind of doing their own thing. Coming up on the plains right now, and I was just trying to talk about this earlier on about the 8 and Sheldon Pearson and mentioning Tyler Reddick actually. Tyler Reddick actually, and the racing news this week actually just today as I'm recording this here on the 12th of July, had actually announced that he in 2024 will be going to 2311 with their crew down there and their team. So switching to a whole new manufacturer and a whole new team from RCR. I give my kind of thoughts and opinions on that just real quick. I really I hope not the best for him, and hopefully, you know, by then 2311 can start dialing in their equipment and dialing in their crews, because it really, they need to start kind of getting that pit crew and that team really dialed in, because they've got good cars. You can say what you want about the drivers or any of them, but the cars themselves are just like any of the other hot start Joe Gibbs racing machines, or even some of the other Fords and Chevys out there. They have the speed and the power, as these next gens are designed to really keep everyone equal playing field wise, but I think really they just need that one extra little kick that the other guys have been able to figure out, and that'll be it. You'll see a lot more of them in that spot. And I think Tyler Reddick is the man to get it done there in 2024, and even Rich Chills racing with this statement kind of made it obvious what we're thinking there. So nevertheless, best wishes of luck to him, and we'll, hopefully maybe one day we can actually get him on the show. We'd love to see him race out here on the track. Whoa, speed of racing out on the track. Whoa, what the? Well, I said earlier on that the Setting 7 had pretty much kind of been kind of silent, kind of quick on his wits, but what on earth has happened to him? Brian Lorenzo's left side on the car here, and the front end of the nose is completely destroyed and damaged up here, and I don't even know where that went wrong at, but we're going to go take a look at the P10 minutes to replay. Something going horribly wrong for the Setting 7, and it looks like he actually catches it in the same corner that everybody else has been struggling in today. Here's a look at it. Header's in that corner. Everything looks pretty good here. Oh, that is a huge mistake by Lorenzo. Looks like he might have misshifted there. I don't know if that was a misshift up or if that was a misshift down. I believe that was a misshift up considering what gear he was probably in, but he may have actually been still in second gear as he was coming off that. And everyone that knows how tough these cars are, when you have the rear end of that going full throttle, those tires spin, you're in trouble. Well, there's the shift, and you can hear he's actually still rumbling around the strips there. And with that damage on that car there, he had nowhere to go. Had to pretty much limp that thing all the way to pit road and end up lost a lot of positions for that. Stephen Pless now, for the first time this season, I think actually has moved into the podium spot now. The 69 Fox Racing Machine has now got into the third spot. How about that? I mean, I usually don't credit out anybody, but really Stephen Pless, I did not think honestly was gonna be a guy you see in that top three. Well, I have to eat my own words and have to kind of eat myself out for that one, because he's hanging in there, and he's also right now in a good position if any of these other guys make a mistake to take him around. Bit of a wild little position to see right now. I have multiple drivers I would have thought honestly have been a little bit in the higher ends of this playing in this track have actually been thrown into the binders here or down the lower ends. The only ones that have been in the top edge this year are of course the Lawrences, the Holdens, Meeks, and Wilcoxes of this race. Childs also, you know, he said earlier on, I did not like this track and I did not figure everything fair out. Well, I think because he can't get everything figured out, I think it's actually helping him a little bit because he's been able to stay clean and out of problems. He's in the top 10 right now, and he's actually 6th, looking for the 5th slot, about 12 seconds back of Christian Wilcox. That's a bit wild to say the least there, if you ask me. Laps left to go now here, and Brian Lorenzo has now moved back up in there with Jason Taylor as we've hit past halfway mark. It's been absolutely crazy to see just how far and how wild some of these moments have gone here today at Road America, from the start now into this middle part, as guys like Brian Lorenzo just getting themselves into trouble when they least expect it, trying to catch up with these guys that are up ahead of them. And those that have been just trying to stay out of trouble, like George Young and James Harris, have actually kind of outwitted most of the field here just by doing that strategy alone. George Young especially here, that 48, he said earlier on, I just want to stay out of trouble. I just got to keep the car clean. If I keep this car clean, I'll be okay. Well, he's not wrong. You can literally look at where he's at right now. I mean, I'd say he's kind of holding his own here. Doesn't have to be the fastest guy, just needs to be smart enough to know how things will play out here, and that's exactly what he's doing. You know, and out of all this, we kind of forgot about Kyle Holden, which has been the second place guy really most of this race here. and might have actually had some speed, some dilemma here if he just was able to get something a little more dialed in. Obviously, we had known him back from the Speed Demon setup shop days in that 5 camp, and he was usually one of the guys that could hang through with those RaceEPI.com guys, which is the elite performance industry drivers. He was able to keep up with the pace and keep up with the distances here, but this time around, it's been not so much for him. Well, with 11 laps left to go here, really, I would usually say this is kind of anybody's race. I can't really say that, although those next-gen Cup cars definitely can make me say it's anybody's race but it's really a fighters to the finish mentality here. There's no gimmies here for sure, and Robert Lawrence knows this. You can still see he's still driving the heck out of that thing. Don't get him wrong, folks. He's still having to literally hit his corners just right to make sure this thing does not get into trouble. That much is for certain. It's just the problem is he's literally having to work around everything else here and literally trying to figure the rest of this race out by just simply going around the track and just trying to hang in there. I may be having some technical difficulties on my end here too, guys. Looks like my camera system might have gone and froze on me. It looks like my usual stuff is froze on me too here, so I may have to kind of do this manually here. You'll see kind of some really bad shots on my end here, so I apologize in advance. You're wondering at home why it's stuck on 11 laps to go. Well, the problem is I think everything froze on us here, so we will try to work around that if at all possible here, which is what I'm going to try to do here. Not often our stuff freezes on us, believe me. I think we might have to turn the technical difficulty screen on here if we can't get this up. It's always on road courses. Okay. Real quick, we're going to go ahead and throw the technical difficulty screen up because I know we are not on lap 11 here, so I apologize in advance, guys. Not much I can really do there. You'll see kind of some pop up here in a minute if we can get it up and loaded here. Some things you just can't control, unfortunately. Alright, see if we can get this hooked up here. There we go, we got it hooked up, we got it back, there we go. So again, our apologies in advance there, folks. I know we hate putting this thing up, and believe me, I'm just like you. I do not like having to use this, our old little setup here, but it's not much I can really do about it. Right now, field is currently still stretched out on between 10 laps left to go. Looking at the positions, looking at our drivers right now. Still, Robert Lawrence is your racer. Kyle Holden in second. Stephen Pless in the third spot here. Not giving out too much on that end or that front. Oops. No, that was not us trying to do that, folks, believe me. Man, we are just not catching a break today. Yeah, I may hear some noise in the background here, guys. Right now, we're currently just trying to work out some kinks here on the broadcast and on the edge here. Okay, I think we might have got it finally. I think. I cannot say for certain there. Well, looks like we finally got it. Yep, I think we got it now. I think we're good. All right, we're sort of good. Lap still, 9 laps left to go, though. We are nearing the end of this race here, so. Some positions in change right now. Tyler Meeks moves up 2 spots here. Kyle Holden losing 2 spots out, unfortunately. Had to go into pit road as Stephen Pless stays in there as well. The number 69 is currently right in the mix and in the position here, looking to try to hold that line down. Robert Lawrence literally got a pretty much lapped the entire. He's pretty much about ready to get up to the entire field if he feels like it. He's got a huge lead on all the rest of the drivers here and all the rest of the field, and he's not giving them any help there, any workarounds. That's for certain. Looks like it's not just iRacing. Looks like it's all iRacing we're having troubles with right now. It's not just our little timing sheet here. That's for certain. Eight laps now has been left set on the track and set in position here. Robert Lawrence, the 34 right now, still firing hard and firing quick. He has fellow driver and teammate there, Stephen Pless, kind of helping him out a little bit though, kind of getting into pit road right when he went in there. And now both guys currently settled up on the track and looking to keep pushing it in. Very unique circumstance and situation they got to be thrown into again for these guys, and really worrying about where they're going to be kind of set into later, where they're going to have to fire themselves off at in positions. It gets very, very technical here for sure, and that's exactly what they're looking for, and that's exactly what they are hoping to see. The biggest thing, though, I'm guaranteeing you that they're just hoping is going to be the biggest picture, which is they just can stay out of each other's way and keep these cars on all fours instead of in the grassy plains or in the sand pits there. That's where they really could find themselves in a very tight little ordeal. And it's not like it cannot happen here. We've seen it pop up from time to time, and it could happen here. Well, looks like Brian Lorenzo has moved his way back into the field. Eli Childs moving into the top 5 as well. Kyle Holden, Tyler Meeks, they've all moved their way in. Every driver now finding themselves something here. Kind of crazy to believe that Kyle Holden Brian Lorenzo just a little while ago had literally wrecked himself out and on that same corner, that same area there, and now is building a lot of his speed back up in that direction, in that same line. Just trying to keep his momentum at bay and keep it going. Race fans, when we come back, we're not quite done here yet. Who will be able to win this one out and take this one home? We shall soon find out when we return here on PTM Racing TV. Well, ladies and gentlemen, today's race has been presented in part by our friends at Champion Power Equipment. You guys need the best power generators on the market. Only brand and name has stood above all else that you can take in control here is Champion Power Equipment. Be sure to take a look on their website at www.championpowerequipment.com to get you guys the best and brightest of all equipments out there for power generators. They are only the best that you can get. Thank you again to Champion Power Equipment for their support. Eli Childs moving up, now bottom down to the 6th slot. Wayne Mann Jr. still trying to catch up to him. Will Cox coming out of pit road, losing a little bit of his time away, and this position off again. Christian Wilcox in the 53, another EPI driver right now in the Elite Performance Industries machine, looking to try to capitalize on some of these guys' mistakes, capitalize on some of their positions and control, looking to work their way on around and steal this one up. Yeah, he's got a line off-site on Mann Jr. right now. Stephen Pless has entered back into pit road here. The number 69 has gone in, I believe, actually for the second time. Might have actually been the first time. I think I might have miscalculated on when he went into pit road. I think Robert Lawrence actually might have, actually he has not been in pit road now. I just got to tell you that Stephen Pless was really late to the party, giving Kyle Holden back his spot. That'll give Tyler Meeks some chances to catch up here, as right now we see the battle between Wilcox and Mann Jr. With 6 laps to go, it is starting to become a bit of a slugfest, trying to stay in contention while at the same time trying to stay out of trouble. Mann Jr. trying to get a run here to keep up ahead of Wilcox. Wilcox trying to get back to him. Neither guy giving an inch though. And again, with all that power, that 670 horsepower speeds and that low downforce package that these things carry with them, man, it's just so hard to think that these cars literally have so much weight and transfer into them that you have to really kind of muscle them. At the same time, trying to avoid doing too much of that, because it can be a very, very big problem. We have noticed here before. Coming up on the edge now, Holden taking back a second place spot here. Currently as well, Robert Lawrence has not left that race lead the entire day, which is honestly surprising to me. I thought we were going to see maybe a few other names kind of try to get after him there and try to take it from him, but I guess once you get kind of a run on this place, you get a good position, then it pretty much kind of boils down to just taking full control of this race. That's exactly what they have done and what they are doing here at this moment. Stephen Pless, though, surprisingly and honestly, in my opinion, miraculously, 9 seconds ahead of Tyler Meeks, has actually kept a solid foundation to stay in third. which is just, to me, it's still pretty impressive. He's been able to keep a podium all day long. And one guy we haven't really been able to talk to or really see much of since that one little hit and run there, unfortunately, with Boyd Hagen was the 90 of Richard Fornshell. And again, Fornshell, he just did not get himself any favors in that first lap. And again, he hasn't really had much help since then from the other drivers. He's been trying to get this car locked and loaded to that race, to that track, and it has not been very successful, unfortunately. Obviously no one to quit though, nor to give out. He is still putting a little bit of speed under the hood and putting a little bit of power in there. And again, guys, some of these drivers will say pit and out. And again, some of them are not correct at all. My system right now is currently a little fried and shot, as I've mentioned earlier. Something had gone wrong on it. We're not really sure what went wrong or what went back behind it. We're trying to figure that out ourselves here, so. Well, 4 laps to go, though. We can at least tell you that Robert Lawrence still is looking pretty comfortable right now at taking the win here, as long as he doesn't make any mistakes here or make too many grave areas here. Looking to hang on and put this one in the bag and put it on the track here. Kyle Holden, Stephen Pless. Another few names that really a lot of guys I think we're kind of expecting to be in the fight, but not exactly where they're at right now. Holden, though, I mean, to me, he's no surprise to me. He's already proven he can be a hot commodity. He can also really make a few of these guys kind of twist and turn their heads a little bit, knowing he can carry his speed as much as he can carry momentum around these tracks. We've seen his power and his executions there on the ovals as well. Landmower Speedway definitely has to be one that comes to mind immediately when it comes to him. And when it came to that race, literally it wasn't boiled down to the last cautions there. It may have actually been Holden that actually got his first win of the season, but Hagen was able to outsmart him just a little bit and take it home. But today, Hagen, the first time this season, looking vulnerable on the track. So perhaps maybe it is these road courses that are giving him the most trouble and the most issues to kind of work around and have to lay down with. The rest of the field, though, seemingly since then have been pretty much doing their own thing, just driving their own line, driving their own race, and going from there. 4 laps will turn, about 3 laps left to go here as the field is nearing the end of this run and the end of this limelight. Robert Lawrence here coming back around the track, just getting further and further ahead of Kyle Holden. Kyle still without any spot or any kind of take and go position. He's been thrown to the wire all day today, and he has not had a single break to give into any of these guys. He's pretty much just been saying, hey, you want to try to take a break, you're going to have to catch me first before I give you anything here. That's pretty much been his shot. That's pretty much his shot in the dark. George Young now a little trouble down there in the 48. The first time we've seen him make a mistake all day long. He actually having himself go off track for a little bit here. Getting sent on around here. Can't quite get the, well, I guess maybe we can get the instant replay up. We'll see if we can take a look at that here. See what went wrong. We are able to view the instant replay at least this time around, so let's go ahead and take a look at it. Came right around off the corners here. And you can see the 48 carrying a lot of speed, carrying a lot of momentum, but unfortunately overshoots the final turns here. Goes a little bit off track, not too bad. Does only give Stephen Pless a little, gives him room though to at least take it from there. Stays out of his way and stays out of trouble. Good sportsmanship on that 48. Coming up on the edges here, 2 laps to go. Green flag high in the air for Robert Lawrence here. As you see Eli Childs there, just kind of moving his way around the change, just trying to finish out his race. Again, many of these guys had said point blank they really weren't feeling too confident. They really weren't liking too much of this, and that they are the ones that kind of eluded trouble and eluded problems here. The rest of them, not so much, let's just say. They pretty much had kind of maybe gone a little overconfident, maybe a little over-exaggerated, and maybe thought it was just a good time to just go for broke, go for big. But, I mean, there's a kind of a fine line you got to limit yourself to, and you can't get timid. And that seemed to have been the case for some of these guys today. So, it is a tough deal there for those that were really confident and felt like they had something going for them in these cars. But those that have been pretty much staying clear of trouble, hold on a minute. Something down there for Sheldon Pearson. Overshoots his corner there, and it looks like he just went right into the sand pit. Damage seems to be at a bare minimum. Does get lapped by Robert Lawrence and still keeps his ninth spot here. He's ahead by George Young by quite a bit here, so I don't think he has anything to worry about there. But as we can see coming off the final edges here we go. One more lap remaining. White flag in the air. Robert Lawrence, the 34, is coming to the end of this one. Just one more to go to complete his tryout, to complete this race out. He made some money in the 3rd place finish of the Super Money race on Friday night. He's now looking to get a win, a second win of his career in this Champ Power Equipment Cup Series Season 5 exit today. Looking for all he needs and all he wants. He's going for broke. Brian Laron's also going for broke for the last bit to try to get there to Tyler Meeks and Steven Plus if they make any mistakes here. But I don't think you're going to get any breaks from them here. Meeks literally playing to his strategy beautifully here, to say the least. You said point blank, this Mobil 1 435 just needs to stay out of trouble, and I need to be on the top of my game, the top of my level. He was indeed, and he did it in a brilliant fashion, to say the least. But for guys like Steven Pless and Kyle Holden, man, I don't think anyone thought they were going to even be anywhere near in that top half, that top bracket, and yet here they are now, taking full control of that system and that mentality, and giving everybody a little bit of a kick in the arm, realizing these next gens can change everything if you're not careful. And Christian Wilcox and Willie Mann Jr. doing one last little battle here. The Elite Performance Industries 53 up against the Man's Maintenance 29 with Robert Lawrence right behind him. Mann Jr. opening the door up. Wilcox able to sneak right through. Moves into 7th. Now has to make the corner. This is the same corner Pearson struggled at earlier. Good braking there. Wilcox able to swing it around. Mann Jr. trying to keep up with him. Trying to stick with him, doesn't want to give him up that easily. Gonna have to deal with one more lap left as the man behind all of them is going to bring this car, the big Elite Performance Industries Motorsports 34 Chevrolet Camaro, into the final turns, the final sectors. A huge win has just been lifted off. Again, it's a road course challenge victory. The Champ Power Equipment 100 belongs to Robert Lawrence. Robert Lawrence with a performance there, my friends, and the 34 Elite Performance Industries machine taking home a solid final end game and end run there, winning this one out against a whole host of drivers here, as the rest of their field right now just continues to pile on the track, trying to put the last laps of their positions down here. What a wild race this was from start to finish. And the podium 3 have been deciphered now. Steven Pless will bring it right to 3rd. His first podium of the season, and without a doubt I'd say that is pretty darn deserved there. And Tyler Meeks coming just enough up ahead of Brian Lorenzo here. Meeks playing to his strategy and doing exactly what he had to keep his car in check and online. That was exactly what he needed to do. Brian Lorenzo in the 77 though, man, what can you say about this kid? He just would not quit. Even when he wrecked out, he had to limp the car to pit road, brings it right back in, and pops up a top 5. Impressive performance by Lorenzo and every single one of these guys here in this race. Childs, Wilcox, Man Jr.'s, Pearson, and Young having a tremendous final end game there. But again, Robert Lawrence able to snap this one off and take the victory away. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's about time we go ahead and get our top 3 in here right now as we get kind of finished out with the race today. So let's listen in right now with them. Ladies and gentlemen, in the 69, it is Stephen Flesh, your 3rd place finisher here today. Stephen, coming away here, first ever podium this season, and I know you've been looking for this one for quite a while, my friend. What's it feel like to get this Fox Racing Ford Mustang finally into a podium slot?
It feels pretty awesome. I had this track circled at the start of the season as coming from road racing. I thought I could do really well here. Practice was tough. Practice was rough go, but I dialed it back just a little bit. I had more pace in the car, but I went conservative to finish the race, and it paid off.
It paid off. It was a very big, impressive little display there for you and the crew, and I know you needed to kind of be put in that position, kind of put it in that monarchy to get this car in where you wanted it, and now that you have it in a 3rd, do you think maybe this will help kind of circle your drive back into the fire off with these guys?
Well, you know, so good finishes drives momentum. I'm hoping I can take a little momentum, the high spirits, and build on it for the next couple of weeks, see what we can do with it. Hopefully we can get some good results. We've had speed in the past couple of weeks. I just make stupid mistakes. But as I get hit right there.
Have a little fun with me, sir.
We've had really good speed. I just make stupid mistakes and push too hard too early or something like that. So if I can just get out of my head, stick to the driving line, I think we can have some really good results.
It certainly does prove it here with this race at Road America. So, plus you come away 3rd today. Who do you want to thank for all that?
I give a shout out to Kevin and Champion for getting this thing started, letting us come have fun. Want to give some a shout out to Fresh Juice, our racing designs, Christian hooking me up with the sick paint, and also a shout out to the boys back at the lemonade stand.
Absolutely, Stephen Bless, man, what a win, or what a 3rd place finish here. Consider that pretty much a winner's check for you, my friend. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Stephen Bless, the 6'9", coming away here with a solid performance in 3rd. Your 2nd place man, though, pilots the big 5 here, Kyle Holden. And Holden living up to that 5 reputation. You, my friend, had to give it seldom drive and get some power. Hanging on to 2nd place, though, Lawrence just kind of had all of you guys beat out there, though, didn't he?
Yeah, he was flying around the track. Later on in the run, I started to pick it up and started to kind of keep pace with him, but I locked up the tires going into the 3rd to last corner, and I figured, you know what, I should take tires. I locked them up pretty bad, and that was the wrong call. Should have just left the tires I currently had on, and I would have maybe would have had a better chance. But good win for Robbie, and a good race for us overall. For
sure, there, good kind of a closing finale there for you and the team, and you did make a point there as well. You were catching up quite a bit there to these guys, and especially, of course, Lawrence there, but if you had a chance to get a caution or get some chance to get something figured out there with the later half, I mean, who would you have tried to do there?
If I caught to him, you know, it would have been a brawl. He probably would have beat me out because it's just super hard to pass here, and I don't have that much experience with the road racing in this car. But that would have been super fun if we caught up to him. But unfortunately, that wasn't going to happen. He was too good here. He didn't make any mistakes, so he deserves to win.
For sure there. Well, nevertheless, though, I mean, this one's going to be a big 2nd place finish for you again in this crew, but who do you want to thank for that?
I got to give a huge shout out to Team Watson Racing for the amazing setup they built for us tonight. Huge shout out to you in the booth, of course, Champion for sponsoring everything, and whatever happened to Boyd and Craig. Sorry that happened to you, but hopefully you'll do good next week.
For sure there. Kyle Holden, congratulations, 2nd place finish here at Road America, sir.
Appreciate it.
Kyle Holden, ladies and gentlemen, coming away here, your 3rd place finisher. The man, though, that brings it to the top dog of all today is the 34, Robert Lawrence. Now joins me here on the show. Robert, my friend, you literally just go for big, go for broke, and once again, this pays off.
Oh, it was such a workout, such a relief, such a great feeling. A heartbreak for also my teammate who qualified pole and just sent her in turn 1, but it happens. If you were in the voice chat when that happened, it was hilarious yet gut-wrenching at the same time.
I mean, we talked about it too. I mean, yeah, he wasn't too bad, and it was pretty sad to see, unfortunately, him kind of get thrown into that spot and into that bus. But, you know, that is something we kind of talk about a lot, which is you got to literally watch the setting and watch the tempo and try not to let yourself get into that mindset. You ended up kind of staying out of that trouble and out of that spot, and it ended up working perfectly for you and this crew. I mean, I've got to believe that that really has kind of been the thing that's kind of keep you separated from the other boys, hasn't it?
Well, yeah, tonight was I just got lucky that Craig unfortunately wrecked out, and then I just had an amazing setup in thanks to the EPI guys. It was just a money setup. We also discussed strategy before the race on whether we take tires or not. Luckily, we chose not to. That helped extend my lead just a little further. And it was just a blast to drive once they got in the rhythm. Beforehand, I was dreading it. I'm like, I'm gonna be off the track numerous times. I'm gonna wreck the car, and it's gonna be the end of the world. But look what happens. I somehow pull a win out of my butt, and woohoo!
Woohoo indeed. Well, hey, it worked out quite well there for you. So, as you walk away today, the race winner here, my friend, who do you want to thank for all that?
Well, first off, I gotta thank EPI or Elite. They were the reason they were so fast. They had put a monster setup down thanks to Michael Conti, and I gotta thank the rest of my team, Craig, Pless, Meeks, Christian, everyone over here on our OSP team, and I gotta thank Champion. I gotta thank Kevin for also putting this up for us. We gotta thank all of our usual guys. So without all of them, I wouldn't be in Victory Lane tonight.
For sure there. Well, Robert, congratulations again back to Victory Lane. It's been a heck of a week for you and this crew, but nevertheless, what a performance once more.
Thank you.
Robert Lawrence, ladies and gentlemen, third at the SMR, and a winner's check here at Road America. What a win for him and his crew. And again, big thank you to our friends at Champion Power Equipment for supporting the show. Be sure to support them on their content as well as their work around they give to the fans and the people in the world around us. Thank you again to them for their power generators and all that. And be sure to check them out on the website, www.champpowerequipment.com. And to you fans out there for tuning on in, thanks so much for showcasing this. Kind of looking at it from a long haul, though, this was a bit wild there at the end. It seemed like, you know, if you got past that start, you're really left with a timing and a strategy run and just, you know, a driver that was hoping and praying that he can just keep the car in one piece and keep everything under control. And when he did, it was exactly what ended up being played out and exactly what needed to be done to survive and conquer. And, you know, that to me is what kind of makes or breaks a season for him. But, you know, we're looking at it from all ends of the playing field, looking at it from all ends of the stature. Is that going to play out to the end? We don't know. We certainly think that this will help out for the long haul, but I don't know when it comes to those final couple races. Is it going to be the Victory Lane spot? We'll have to certainly see. Nevertheless, though, that's all but going to do it here. So, again, thank you to everyone that tuned on in. Thank you to our fans, the friends, sponsors, and all that. We'll see you guys next time tomorrow night. 2 races coming up. We'll see you soon. Thank you so much for the show.